Okay, so continuing with 3.2, I'm going to draw the same diagram that I had in the first part of 3.2, except I had lines L and M, and then T is the transversal. It's still true in the diagram that there's only two different angle measures. I use 70 degrees and 110 degrees in part 1. I'm just going to number these angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. So in part 1 of the video, we saw that corresponding angles are congruent, like angle 2 is congruent with angle 6, and so on. Alternate interior angles were congruent. Angle 3 is congruent with angle 6, and angle 4 is congruent with angle 5. Those are the pairs of alternate interior angles. Now continuing with the theorems, again, it's still true that there's only two different angle measures in that diagram. For the alternate exterior angles theorem, I already started it. But a pair of alternate exterior angles are angles 1 and angles 8. Those are on opposite sides of the transversal, and then they're exterior angles. You can probably guess or just see or look at the angle measures from part 1. They're both 110 degrees. So if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then alternate exterior angles are congruent. I'm actually going to write down which alternate exterior angles are congruent as well, just to write your congruence statements. But now it's true that angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. And then also angle 2, that's an exterior angle. It's an alternate exterior angle with angle 7. So those two angles are congruent. And that's the only pair of alternate exterior angles, those two pairs. This is 7. Okay. And then so far, if you notice, all the pairs of angles so far are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, and then alternate exterior angles are congruent as well. Here's where it's a little bit different. Consecutive interior angle, so they have to be on the same side of the transversal. That's why we also refer to them as same side interior, but angles 3 and angles 5. Okay, earlier I had angle 3, that measure was 70 degrees, angle 5, 110 degrees. They're definitely not congruent. They'd be congruent in a specific case if this line, sorry, I didn't label it, the transversal is supposed to be line T, if T is perpendicular to lines L and M. Sorry, I didn't label this either. Those should be that. They're parallel. Okay, but if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, there is a special relationship between your consecutive interior angles. However, they're not congruent. Think about it for a second. Maybe pause the video. If you figured it out, they would be supplementary. So then consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So how I can state that or write that is the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 5. Those are your consecutive interior angles. If they're supplementary, then their sum has to be 180 degrees. And then I can make a similar statement for angles 4 and 6. The measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 6 is equal to 180. So those are each of the theorems in section 3.2.